Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Concert Junkies, Rob and John. Oh yeah.
And we're live.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Greg Molina from a band called A Moment's Notice based out of Sacramento, California.
So how did you get the name of the band?
Originally the band was a old project that I had a pretty decent know-how around. The old vocalist and I, we were pretty close. We had a lot of moments that we had played shows together and done music together in general. And the band died out back in like 2010, and it kind of went dormant for a really long time. And about 13 years later, I was kind of sitting there just wondering, like, what am I gonna do if I'm gonna even get back into music? And my wife and a good friend of mine from the original vocalist from Suffocate both kind of convinced me to get back in the studio, and pretty much at a moment's notice, this is how it happened. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's perfect. And so I just rekindled the name and just brought it back.
So not musically, what do you want to leave as your legacy?
I want my stepson to like remember all the hard work that I put into everything, and just kind of, take that and just run with it for the rest of his life, knowing like, if my dad could do it, he can do it too, kind of thing. Seeing all my hard work and stuff.
Now musically.
Musically, I want people to remember. I want people to remember something different, like out of my music. I don't think that there's ever a point in my music that I don't try to speak about something pretty heavy that weighs on me, or that I felt was needed to be talked about. So I want to be remembered for talking about some of the things that most people probably wouldn't want to talk about, like PTSD, anxiety, depression, suicide, any of that stuff. I want people to remember that I was feeling everything they were feeling too, and or I knew somebody that felt that, and that, I wanted them not to be alone.
With that said, what was the hardest song that you put out? Emotionally.
I would probably say Endless Waltz was our second single that we came out with, and then that was pretty hard because I was talking about my PTSD and my depression and my lack of feeling like I am what I used to be when I was in the military, and being disabled and not being who I was. It weighed on me a lot, and feeling like I was the shell of my once past, and not really having a way to fill that void. And that song was really how I pushed myself in a lot of ways, vocally and just instrumentally. We just went out and did something different. That kind of set the forefront for the rest of the EP that we're working on right now.
So I'll send someone with a fun question here. Last Supper scenario. Who's your 12 at your table?
Ooh.
And you have to have one female, though.
One female. Well, definitely in my Last Supper, I want my wife, but I also want Courtney LaPlante there because it's Courtney LaPlante.
Okay.
Will Ramos, Tom Barber, Taylor from Left to Suffer, Eddie Berg from Imminence, Jared from Suffocate, Nick Miller from A Skylit Drive, Jordan Blake from A Skylit Drive, Johnny Craig, good friend of mine, so definitely want him there. Justin Thomas from Elysia. And then I want Joe from A Foreign Affair just because he's a fun time. Like that's pretty much it. Like I just want to see Joe be Joe, and that's what I love about him.
Second part of that, what are you serving?
Ooh, see, I'm plant based. I'm vegetarian. So I don't know. It's probably something my wife would probably cook up. I don't know exactly what, but it would be probably something, probably just traditional American style burgers and fries and basic barbecue stuff. That'd be a pretty dope last meal to just have like a barbecue style last supper with all those guys.
Drink of choice.
Ooh, all right. So I don't drink often, but when I do drink, it's once a season. Well, once a year, really. And I'd have to pick Lagunitas Waldos because it comes out once a year, and
Okay.
that beer hits.
Yeah.
It's like an 11.7%, and it just you drink two and you're torn.
All right. This is going to be very hard for you to answer. Who do you think has the best breakdown?
Right now?
Yeah, right
Oh,
now.
man. I gotta give this one to Will Ramos. I mean, dude, that Into the Hellfire song, that last breakdown is just disgusting. Like he just comes out with that just brutal lows, and yeah, seeing that, and yeah, I there's no words that can describe that personally. I think that breakdown is just freaking disgusting. There was no reason for him to go that hard.
All right. This is a twofer. You can. Who would you want on your bill?
Ooh. Ooh.
It could be local. It could be national. It could be dead or alive.
Oh, dead or alive? All
No,
right,
no.
here.
It could be dead or alive.
All right. I want Suicide Silence when Mitch was alive.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of being at his gravesite when we shot our music video for Offerings, and that was a pretty surreal moment. I think that he's deeply missed. So, if I could play a show with him, that would be that'd be amazing.
So who else would you want on the bill?
I think about that one now. So I got Suicide Silence. Let's think here. I'd want Darko, because they haven't played a show, and I want that. Brand of Sacrifice. Ooh, man, this is hard. Left to Suffer or Alpha Wolf, one of those two. I couldn't pick between those two, to be honest. That'd be really hard. But that would be a pretty stacked lineup.
And you would be headlining, or would you play before these people?
I'd play way. I mean, I'm grateful to even open up for those guys. So it wouldn't bother me none if I opened up for them. I'd just be stoked to be on the bill.
If you could pick 5 CDs to bring to you to a desert island, what 5 would they be?
Sleep Token, Sundowning, Imminence, Turn on the Lights, Zombies, One by the Devil Wears Prada, Ooh. Knuckle Puck, Copacetic. Damn. This is gonna be hard. She Watched the Sky by Skylar Drive. I'd have to say that for sure.
Is there I mean, what's your guilty pleasure with music that people wouldn't think you'd listen to or own a shirt or a CD?
So my guilty pleasure is The Midnight. It's a like 80s synthwave style band, and it's like, man, when I was getting my throat tattoo, I was listening to them and I was just vibed out. So people probably be like, "What?" But it's very much not the genre that I would be portrayed to listen to, for sure.
Is there any female vocalist that you'd want to collab with?
Definitely Courtney LaPlante. Like any day of the week. If I got that offer, I'd probably run pretty far and scream and then come back and compose myself. She's the queen of metal, man. She's just insanely good at what she does.
So, what was your best moment on stage and your worst moment on stage?
So this is actually kind of funny. So I would say the best and the worst moment is at the same show. And I got the pleasure of performing with the Skylit Drive at Swanfest. And it was the best thing that I ever did, but also I was so scared because I couldn't see the end of the crowd. So it also was like the nerves got to me hella hard in the beginning, but I composed myself, I got myself together, and then I was like, holy shit, I'm actually doing this. So, and it was for their 15th year reunion, like the first show they've ever played together as an original lineup. So yeah, that moment was pretty surreal. I don't think I can ever forget that one. But also I kind of foobarred the beginning.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, man.
If you could pick your own super group, who would you want in it?
Ooh, my own super group. Fuck, this is gonna be good. I'd want Josh Miller from Spite on drums for sure. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. The guitarist of Eminence, with the long hair. I can't remember his name. But that guy just shreds. Yeah, I want Nick Miller as the second guitarist because he's surprisingly, like, his writing style is insane. On bass, I'd actually want to bring Brian from a Skylit Drive as well because he's really just a humble dude. And yeah, I think that would be my all-star lineup right there.
Who do you have on vocals, though?
Oh, man, this is hard. I'm trying to think of, like, with that mix.
You can have two vocalists, like one scream, one's clean.
I would actually pick two screamers, but one that's capable of singing. I would pick Will Ramos because he just dropped a Sleep Token album, like a cover that he did. and he can sing really freaking good, just as good as he can screaming. And then probably Tom, which both of those guys were in Lorna Shore, but they're insanely good at what they do. So I think that would be pretty much my all-star lineup. Plus Josh and Tom Barber, they're both in Darko. So I think that the chemistry would be really cool to see them do what they do.
Is there a song that you think that describes you as a person that you could send somebody so you don't really have to talk?
Yeah. I would, man.
It could be one you wrote or it could be somebody else. It doesn't matter.
I think that I would honestly have to say something around the lines of, and it's weird because it's an instrumental. Probably like Euphoria by Polyphia, because if you listen to it, it's kind of eclectic, but it also has these like really like beautiful grace moments in it. And I think that's like the story of my life. My life's pretty eclectic. Like I'm pretty all over the place. I'm busier than all hell, and I had these moments of like just like I guess bliss in a sense, where it seems like you listen or you see things that happen in my life, and you're like, cool, like it's just heartwarming, and I think that's the way that song is. So yeah, definitely, I'd have to say Euphoria by Polyphia.
If you can go back and write yourself a letter at age 15, what would that say?
Don't quit doing music for 13 years. I took 13 years off and I regret every second of that. I
Is
I
that
started.
is that a regret or is it just a
It's more
learning?
like I think it's a kick in the butt to myself, because I when I was playing shows as a local artist back in like 2008 and 9, there's a band that's fairly big now, Kingdom of Giants. They used to be Hello Sailor before they rebranded. I was playing shows with them, and they're close friends with me. And now they tour Europe and everywhere else in the world. And seeing as how big they got and how close I am with them and their support now for the music that I'm doing, I think that me looking back, I'm like, man, I had something special that I could do, and I didn't really truly believe in myself, and also I didn't think that I was going to be missed as much as I was until AMN got created again, and the light bulb kind of went off that like I probably needed that time to grow up a lot, but also like kind of know myself as a musician. Like that was really, it's not so much as a regret, it's more like me just looking back. I mean, like, dude, you gave up way too early. Like you took too much time off.
I don't think you took too much time off or you gave up too early. It's more of the stars weren't aligning at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like in a deeper level, that you can put things on back burner for a little bit, but what do you call it? Readjust.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped doing music and went from one thing to going to the military. And I kind of needed to get a little bit more of a straight and narrow path in my life, and I was lacking a lot of maturity as a young artist. I think that I was a wild child. If I would have been doing this in my early 20s, I probably would have been another guy partying, drinking, who knows, maybe even being on drugs. I don't know. I would have been just a wild child because knowing me when I was young, I was pretty rambunctious. I was all over the place. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just having a good time. So I definitely agree with that, though. I think that yeah, the timing it just wasn't right. It's an excellent point, by the way. I actually like that perspective.
Thank you. So when you were younger, what was the first CD you ever was gifted or bought?
The first actual CD I was gifted was AFI's All Hallows EP.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that was my introduction to all of this. Was that album, and I was like, dude, this thing slaps. I was like, what is this? And I was a kid who listened to rap when I was like 12, 13, and my friend was like skating with me, and he's like, dude, you gotta check this out. And he put it on the boombox, and I just remember I was like, dude, this shit rips. What is this? And he's like, dude, I'm gonna make you a copy of it. And back when CD burning was a thing, and
Yep.
he burnt the CD for me, and I took it home, and I was just outside of my house skating, hitting like the little handrail that we had made, and his dad made it for us, and I was just skating to that every single day. And then I was like, dude, I gotta find more of this genre, and went from punk to hardcore to metalcore, deathcore, and I mean that's pretty much what started the rabbit hole.
So what was the first show you ever went to?
You might remember most of these bands actually. The first show I ever went to that was just like, it's a hell of a lineup. It was at the Boardwalk in Orangevale, California, and it was Walls of Jericho
Okay.
with the Warriors,
All right.
followed by As Blood Runs Black when the Allegiance album had just dropped, and Bone of Osiris when the New Rain had dropped. It's just absolute hell on earth show.
I actually got to actually have a beer with Born of Osiris about maybe, I'm gonna say 2 years ago.
Dude, those guys are stupid talented. Like they just don't miss. Like any album they drop, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I think it was the night that they were playing with Killswitch Engaged. It was a hell of a night.
Oh, I bet those guys are really talented, man. Like to meet them would be really cool.
They're very nice.
Oh, I bet. I feel bad for them at Swanfest. The sound got messed up for them, and it was it made me so mad for them because the sound guy, like something happened with the system, and their backing tracks were failing on them and everything, and it was kind of sad. I was like, I felt terrible for them. That was the first time I've seen them since that first show, so it's kind of crazy.
Is there a band that you consider a CD band? Like they have no stage presence. They're just better on CD.
Ooh, hmm. Yeah, honestly, I can't really say that I've actually seen or like listened to any bands that I haven't been actually impressed by live. Yeah, I don't really think there's anybody, because anybody I've listened to and that I've seen live, I've always thought they've done a really, really good job at what they do. So, yeah, that's kind of a hard one. I don't think I have anyone for that.
I have a couple, but that it just didn't hit right. I saw them live, or maybe it was just a bad night for them.
Yeah, I Yeah, I don't think I've heard anybody yet, which is surprising now that I think about it.
Do you have a favorite venue that
Yeah,
you have to
actually.
go to?
Um, I it's I mean, they're temporarily closed right now because they're relocating. But I love our one of our local venues, Holy Diver. I just the aesthetic of it, the way that they they made the venue. I know that they're probably gonna do something fairly similar to the way that they had it at the old location. I think they're trying to go for something a little bit bigger. But man, that was like literally my favorite place to go to. I would be there pretty much. I think I was there. My wife and I were there for like 2-3 weeks in a row, just back to back, going to shows. I think we went twice in 1 week at one point.
Really?
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, Holy Diver, hell yeah, we're going. Like it's just a dope venue. We even saw Stick to Your Guns there. That was the most insane show that I've ever seen. The Somebody stage dived off and hit the lighting on the roof like with their leg and it got knocked off. Like it was insane. Like that venue went hard. I actually broke a rib at that venue. Like the whole yeah. I have some really good experiences at Holy Diver.
So, what's your feeling on going to a venue and they say no crowd surfing?
I mean, okay, so I get it on both ends. So the legality of it, people getting hurt and potentially wanting to sue, and that's what kind of killed a lot of places because of lawsuits. But at the same time, like, dude, let people have fun, let people just go wild. Like that's what they're there for. They're there for the entertainment factor, their excitement. Like if people are crowd surfing, I'm like, dude, hell yeah, let's do this, let's have fun. If the pit's violent and people are crowd surfing and all that stuff's going crazy, like the more mayhem, the better for me personally. I feed off of that. Like that's dope.
So, what? So, when did exactly did the pits change? Like,
Ooh.
like
Yeah, no, I know what you mean because
it's not how it used to be, and you will not see me in one now. Like, it's not.
so there's a little bit. Okay, I grew up in the original stages of metalcore, so I remember what those pits were like, and they were violent. They were scary. And now, like, it's weird because like people used to joke about hardcore dancing. They're like, "Oh, hardcore dancing, like whatever, right?" And I see now at 31 a very distinct difference between now
Yeah,
and then. Like the way they dance now, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And back when I was growing up, I was like, yo, there are arms and legs flying everywhere and people are getting knocked out. Like it was violent. It was very different. And I don't know if it's like just like the way the world is now, but like it's a little bit softer. And I'm like kind of shocked by it. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, if the pit's still big, I don't care. Like, but I think it depends on this genre too, because I've seen some hardcore shows nowadays where it's still like the old way, and I'm like, not
like
going.
I'm used to just slam dancing and what do you call it, running into each other like Red Rover. Like
Oh yeah,
you
the
know,
I
no, trying to be a ninja when you're not.
I mean, hey man, we're just trying to swat the invisible flies.
I'm guessing, right?
We're just trying to swat the flies and bees away, man. That's what it looks like.
It really does.
Hey, I mean, hey, it's a good time. It's how I broke my rib. So I'm I'm just chilling, man. Now I don't go in the pit. I'm like, I'm too old for that. I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah. As of today, what is your favorite show you've played?
Played?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like I know we talked about Swan Fest, but I'm saying in,
I
gen-
on
in general.
I think that honestly, dude, like, it was a show I played with Kingdom of Giants out in the middle of this like random like it was like on the top state like of like the second story of like a pizza place in Ione. And I mean there was a good handful of people there. It wasn't really a big show, but I think like KOG and us, we just vibed hella well on that day, and we were on like a Weekend Warrior kind of like tour. We were doing like Weekend Warrior shows every week in a different city for a whole summer, and I mean, dude, it was sick. Like I was like, we were having the time of our lives. We got done with the show, and we were just like all having a great time. I think we drank some beers after. I wasn't even 21, but I was just drinking. I was like, I don't care. We were just having a great time, and I think that was like probably my most memorable show because it was just all good vibes the whole time, and we didn't care how we sounded or anything. We were just living for that moment.
All right, at this time, I normally let the guests flip it on me. You can ask me anything.
Sweet. Um, how did you find us? That was kind of it's because it came out of the blue, so I'm kind of curious about that.
You showed up on my Facebook, actually.
Ah, on the people you may know.
No, just you posted something and it was there.
Oh,
Anything musically shows up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and
nice,
any social media that I have, it links all the music stuff.
dude. That's dope. I mean that's super awesome that
Uh,
somehow we're getting that organic reach.
like I'm part of a lot of groups as well, so you guys popped up.
Oh, sick. That's super cool. I mean, it always surprises me. So I'm like, I didn't know that we had that much of random people knowing us. So it's
Yeah,
dope
it
to
just you guys showed up.
hell yeah, dude. Um, have you listened to any of our songs? And what is your favorite if you have?
To be honest, I don't remember names of songs at all, but I have listened to at least one of your songs.
Was it the music video one?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. That's off of our EP. That's the first song that we've ever wrote as a band actually. So the first two were me as a solo project. So
I always listen to one song only, so I get the feel.
yeah, hell yeah. That's dope. What made you want to start this? Like this podcast and or stream, if you will.
Um, it was actually a conversation at a karaoke bar a long time ago. Since I've been going to so many concerts and I'm knowledgeable of this, that, next thing, I had a buddy that was going to do it with me and then it never worked out. I had another buddy that's here and there. It's another way to promote people, and I love music, so I could talk about it all day. So
Yeah. What was like the defining moment in your and I guess your musical like life that like really changed the course of how you view music?
I don't know. Everybody was into baseball, football, hockey, all that stuff. It was music is my happy place. Like it just
Yeah.
rolled off,
Yeah.
earphones on. Like it's
You escape.
I
You
could be
escape.
I could be at a concert. There could be thousands of people behind me, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'm still paying attention to look around once in a while to make sure nothing's going on. But that's my Zen moment. I'm
Dude.
Like
I
I might
mean,
have I might have my phone up once or just for a couple of photos or whatever the case may be, so I can put it here or there, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, I put it like this: any genre of music, your family. So like, doesn't matter what's going on, just we're there for the same purpose.
yeah, dude. That honestly, that's like probably like one of the best answers I've got from people because it really is like that. It resonates in all of us, and there's no, it's ineffable. There's no way really to explain why or how. It resonates with you, and it gives you a certain level of peace. So it's dope to hear somebody else that may not be in a band, but has that understanding of it as well. So kudos to you on that one, dude, because not many people think about that.
And there's no win to, and there's no win, there's no lose. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna leave unhappy.
No, no, you just go and you're like,
Like
this,
I'm not betting over you over to somebody else that's gonna
yeah,
win something. No,
it's just pure bliss. That's really it. There's
uh,
no way to explain it.
yeah, except for the beer prices. But yes, it's plus
Yeah, I mean,
can't control that though. But
get a
yeah, it's a
put a koozie in the back of
yeah,
the car and tailgate it for a
yeah.
second. Yeah, man.
It's a memory thing, Like,
Yeah,
all right, I took you to your first concert. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things.
yeah, yeah. I think it's super like just do you have kids by chance?
No,
No.
not yet.
I my stepson and I and my wife, we went out to a friend's concert, and it was really awesome to see him there with everyone that I knew, and people walking up to him and saying hi and stuff, and like it may not have resonated in him now,
But
but like
it's going
it
to.
will. Yeah.
It will.
And I think that that's you know he's been to a bunch of concerts now, and one of his favorite bands is Emerosa.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he shows us music, and I'm like, what the hell's this? Like, he showed us this guy Nate Wants to Battle, and the guy put out like this whole Five Nights at Freddy's like metalcore album, and it was amazing. And I was like, what the hell? Like, and that's my stepson. He's showing me all this. I'm like, what? This is so sick. Like, I love it. It's super cool. It starts from the ground up, man. It really does. So yeah, man. I don't know. I don't really know what to ask after all that. I think that I honestly think what you're doing is super, it's just super needed in the world. No matter how big or small the platform is.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Here you go. What's a band that is like on your a few band? Let's put three. What are
Okay.
your three bands that are on your wish list of like wanting to get on here to talk to?
Everybody's going to know this answer. I want Johnson Davis.
Ooh.
I got to speak to Fieldy, but I would like to speak to Johnson Davis.
Any particular reason why?
Um, Several reasons, but we all have that one artist that when shit was tough and whatever the case may be, you listen to them and things got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, not to get too personal, but like we all have that one artist that changed the perspective on things.
Yeah. No, dude, definitely. I I relate so heavily to that, actually.
I've been following them since I think they came out in '93. Like, I've been following them ever since. I've not missed one concert yet, except for two that got canceled on me and because of Corona or weather.
Damn.
But I've Yeah, so, every time they're in Jersey, I see a show. Except for I will not be there August 27th, but
Oh
it's
wow.
not in a location that I like going, so that's the reason why.
Ah, yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about Knuckle Puck. It took me like I listened to a few of the records and like it just resonated with me so heavily. And I was supposed to see them March 16th,
Yeah.
2020, the day the country shut down.
Yep.
And I was pissed
Yep.
because that I had bought those tickets and 2 months before they even played the show, it was sold out. And I had to wait 2 years. And when I saw them finally at Ace of Spades out here in Sacramento, I actually cried at one point because their albums got me through a lot during the pandemic and they resonated with me just like how it does for you as well for other music. Like it's one of those things that you connect with an artist so heavily, and then when you finally see them, you're like, I'm so here for this, and I don't even care if it sounds good or not. I'm just here, like, and I'm content.
It's not even it's that, and it's like I have so many questions that I would like answers to, like just in general, like there's like 4 or 5 songs I'm like want to know what that struck, like to that point of like why you said that or how
Hmm.
you said that. His vocal range is out of control, like
Yeah,
I'm that much of a fan that I have their freaking bio on CD. Like I know, I mean, almost everything you could possibly know, but like it's different from hearing it from the horse's mouth.
yeah, yeah. I think there's a certain level of transparency when you're having a conversation with someone like that about like why they wrote something or how they wrote it, and actually being like, hey, like what was going through your head when you were writing this, like, and like, what influenced that, like what made you say those words specifically. And I think you know I've even had those questions asked to me lately, which blows my mind. I had somebody ask like what Offerings was about, and it
Well, speaking of that, somebody just popped in.
yeah,
They love offer. They loved offerings,
dude, hell yeah, dude, I
and
appreciate it.
and this was the other thing that was popped through.
And Endless Waltz, dude, yes, yes, I love it. I love seeing that. Honestly, like, yeah, Offerings was we talked about Endless Waltz being like about my PTSD and what I was going through, and but Offerings was kind of like the way of me kind of almost in a way smacking someone's hand away from my face, telling me not to do something. Offerings was about people casting judgment about it's too late, you're too old. You know, I do. I want to control. In a way, they from their words, they want to control your actions or your thoughts on how you feel about what you're doing at 31 years old. Like, why are you gonna do music again? And that whole first line, "You make me fucking sick," is literally talking about those people. Like, I'm like, don't ever tell somebody they can't do anything. Like, the road is hard, but if they want to do it, let them. Like, you know, drop the blade.
But but with that said, you don't tell somebody that they can't do something, but you're giving them the motivation to do so half the time.
True, totally.
So
It's almost like I'm antagonizing it.
it's pretty much how that you. It's how things are said. It's not what is said.
Yeah,
So like if you're saying it like a stern voice, you can't do that. I mean, no pointing fingers, neener, neener, neener. You can't do that. But if you say it in a way that is somewhat loving, but somewhat of kicking you in the ass to do so, prove me wrong
Yeah, and I think it would
in
have
a
been
loving way. Prove
different.
me wrong.
I think it would have been different if somebody would have done it that way. But there was some pushback. There were people like they're like, "Really, you're gonna be back in a band?" Like, and then there was a vast majority of people who weren't like that. And I think that if it was a little bit more positive, I would have been like, "Cool." But I think a lot of the record that we're working on right now speaks a lot about just the things that I felt so passionately about that I'm like, dude, I want to just talk about this. Like,
It,
I
it, it, it comes from the stomach.
yeah,
Like everything that you've put down for years, it's going to erupt at some point. So why don't you use it with pen and paper instead of lashing out on somebody else?
yeah, yeah. I think there's a certain level of zen that comes with it too for me because it's like, seeing people resonate with like my music and like the way I'm saying certain things, and people are like, dude, like I love the lyrics. I had somebody yesterday tell me I have you got that song on 3 playlists, and every single time it comes on, I'm just so pumped to hear that first line. And they're just like, because I just know how much aggression and anger and just the feeling of it. They're like, it gets me super pumped to be like, no, fuck this. I got today. Like today, I'm gonna do it right. Like, and that was like, I don't know, that was a moment in my like in this musical career of mine where I was like, damn, that's real. Like that's real. I actually have somebody out there that's like heavily influenced by a song that I wrote to like be like, nah, today I'm gonna make today my day, and no one's gonna stop me. Like that was powerful. That was within itself like the biggest compliment I could have ever gotten.
So do you have any advice of anybody that is coming up now?
Yeah, man. I've been asked this a few times, and I personally would say if you're making music, take your time. Learn as much as you can. A little bit of music theory goes a long way, but also don't settle for subpar. Don't settle for it's good enough. Always push yourself outside of your limits in music to put out something that's so memorable that people are like, they're just shocked. you know, Lionel Richie, and I say this a lot, and this is something I live by. Lionel Richie said a quote on American Idol, and I'll never forget it. He said, "You have 30 seconds to grab my attention. You have one song to make me a fan. Make me a fan." And I live by that. That is how we write all of our music. If it does not catch your attention within the first 30 seconds, I didn't do something right. So it is how I've viewed my music now. And he's not even in my genre, but it was
Yeah.
memorable. It made me remember that.
So that goes into my other question that I always ask, but I know it wasn't physically said to you personally, but what was the best advice you were ever given?
So Nick, uh, Nick Miller is our producer and our manager. And I got really in my head about my performance at Swanfest. And the best advice he ever gave me was drown out the noise. The bigger stuff you do, the more scrutiny you're going to get. And it made me remember that I wasn't exactly focusing on what I was doing. I needed to focus on me. And if there was negative, I just had to brush it off. There wasn't anything I needed to pay attention to other than my craft and the music. So, like, he gave me that little piece, and I think that I'll probably never forget those words because that's kind of how I'm going into us preparing for our EP release show that we're headlining.
Oh,
Um,
when is that going to be?
August 26th at downtown Sacramento Goldfield, because there's 2 locations. There's a Roseville one and a Sacramento
Oh.
one. But we're honored to be sharing the stage with Dwellings, who's signed to Tragic Hero. I was on tour with them with a few other bands, running TM for them and merch, and that was a really good experience. But them and Scoundrels, Amber's Wake, and in Chaos. The show's gonna be super sick. It's a mixed genre show, so it's gonna be really fun for everybody. Get a little bit of everything for everyone. So I think that's gonna be a pretty good way to open it up for us.
Okay, since you've worked merch, do you think everybody needs to learn every aspect of everything?
I think there's a benefit for sure. I think that if you're an artist and you want to tour and you want to get into this scene, make friends with the band, learn as much as you can about the inner workings of what they do, everything from in-ear monitoring systems to how they set up their gear, how they're communicating with, show promoters, the sound guys, coordinating with the owners of the location and stuff, like all the way even to merch, like making it simpler for everyone all around. If you have a better grasp of that, you're going to be an asset to whatever band you're starting. And you'll also know a little bit of that road time. You'll know what it feels like to be on the road. And there are a lot of challenges that come with being on the road. You're pretty tired. Your back usually hurts because you've been sleeping in really uncomfortable positions. And I mean, you got to kind of suffer a little bit to kind of know really what you're getting yourself into. And so if you go in completely blind, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice.
And I've seen it and I've heard it from posts and other lovely things that I come across. This is just my advice, and I don't know if it's going to hold water or not hold water. If you think you're going to be running out of merch, try to find somebody that makes shirts in that state or area that you're going to be in, like
Yeah.
a rush order.
Yes,
Or
very much.
like even if I know it's not per se always going to be the best quality, but an iron on or something like that, just so you have other options of means.
I think honestly, what you're saying is okay. So Dwellings ran out of shirts, and they hit up Tragic Hero, and there just was too small of a window for them to get stuff out.
Yeah.
That goes in with the planning process of a tour, like knowing the route, knowing everything. Where are you gonna sleep that night? All right, if we run out of merch in this location, who do we have? Make those contacts, get those point of contacts for everyone, and be like, hey, here's our designs, just in case we might need something ordered like at a rapid rate. And just kind of like even putting a, and I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but like even putting a deposit down just so they know, like, if
You're
this order
serious.
does come down, you're gonna need it like ASAP, or have a really good print person that can do it for you, like rush order. We have a guy that runs a lot of clothing lines for like printing, and he does like Megan the Stallion and a bunch of other people, like big artists, but he
Yeah.
does rush orders. And so we communicated with him already, and we're like, hey, we're possibly going on the road in November. And then next year doing a US tour with some pretty good bands, and can't really talk too much about the details, but like it's all in the works.
Yeah.
But just that communication level goes a whole long way. So what you're saying holds plenty of water. If anything, it overfills and is all over the ground kind of thing, because it's something that not many people think about, and it's very real. You're gonna run out, and including if you have any sort of hype, like you could get screwed on merch quick. Like you'd be like, well, we have
and
nothing to sell.
and that's where most of your money's coming from.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've
Even
seen.
if you go to a Walmart and buy shirts and use a Sharpie, they love
I
you.
mean,
If the people love you, they're going to buy your shirt with a Sharpie on it or something for memory's sake.
so Dwellings did something really cool that I actually liked. They had a lot of their live performance photos, and they printed them out in bulk. And for $2, you could get a picture and then have whichever artist or whichever person that was in the picture to sign it for you.
Yeah,
It sounds ridiculous, but they made like $300 in one night off of that, just off of pictures that were signed. So
it,
it's like it seems ridiculous, but it's like stickers, pictures of your live performances that are signed. Like little things like that go a long way. Like you gotta think about those things. Like marketing is everything. Like look at Spirit Box. They have, I think they have coffee now.
yeah.
Like, and like Eminence from Sweden, they had a bundle package where everything in the bundle was super sick. But it was like you could buy it, and it was like, wow, like they put thought into that. And it may be like as simple as just a necklace with their logo, like their flower that they have. But it's like it's as simple as that, or like a handwritten letter from the vocalist or something, like, or his lyrics, his sketchbook. Like it's it's super simple to like come up with ideas. You just got to get creative with it.
And I'm not like I'm not sponsored by Walmart or anything, but you could always go to Walmart and be crafty.
Yeah,
You know what
literally.
I'm saying? Like a package of Hanes t-shirts and a Sharpie goes a long way.
Dude, there's some people that would be grateful to even have that with a picture. And I mean, you'd be surprised on.
Even their
Yeah,
signature.
yeah.
It
People,
doesn't matter per se what it is. It's a memory sake from that 2022 show that
it meant something to
meant
them.
something to them at that at that point.
Yeah. I
Even
mean,
if
it
it,
was like you were saying earlier about how, like, you go see one artist specifically for a reason. If you got a t shirt with their signature on it that was a Walmart t shirt, you'd be like, sick. And you get a picture with them after with it signed. You blow it up and you put it inside your office, and then you're like, I remember that day. That day was a really good day.
exactly.
It doesn't matter. You could have the best merch in the world, but sometimes those little memories are just, they're so tangible. Like there's nothing more you can like ask for.
It just came up. I mean, it came up to me a couple of days ago about knowing your surroundings.
Yeah, dude, I
Well,
agree with it.
you can network with all the promoters and everything else, but the the digital design people, you know, oh, I have a friend Lisa in Menahawk, and yeah, I'll just send her your. I'm trying to think of the name of the file. Just send her over this file, and you could pick it up at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
and that goes also with, like, if you're in a band, know how much you got left of what you got. Like every night, I know it sounds like the most insane thing, but like if you have a merch guy, be like, hey, by end of night, try to do an inventory, or have like we have a square like tablet, and we actually input our inventory. So when it hits a certain number, it'll actually say like, hey, you're running low on this. And so we're like, okay, cool, we need to order more of those. And if we see other numbers, like we can look in our stats and be like, okay, cool, we're running pretty low on this, this, and this. Let's order all of these and then get them here for the next day after this next show. So get it shipped to the venue.
Well, and here's the thing, that, what do you call it? You don't 97% of the time you don't sell smalls.
No, smalls are actually a rare occurrence on
So
that.
I'm
It's usually
saying
big boy
that
sizes.
large, medium, extra large, 2X, occasionally a 3X.
Yeah, those are
But
the big ones right there for sure.
so if you know that you don't really sell smalls, but if you'll have maybe one or two in your collection just in case,
Yeah.
but focus more on the big boy sizes or big girl size. Well, the bigger sizes. Let's not go there, but
Yes, yes.
let's not go there at all. That last show you sold 10 of the medium, and you only had 20, so you have 10 left. So,
Yeah.
and I know you could always order it online and it gets shipped to you, and whatever the case may be, if it's not there or whatever the case may be, but most people want things right then and there, or they're gonna forget about it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because like you'll have a merch store and nobody will buy anything.
I have a merch store. Nobody's buying anything. All
But
my
when you're
stuff.
at a venue, it's like people eat it up. They're like, "Oh, that's dope." They don't want like people don't want to wait. They're creatures of comfort and like of what is it? What's the word? Yeah, it's like instant gratification. It's
It's
like
in. It's in, an instant buy, like
yeah.
a candy bar in front of a register. Ooh, I want this now. Like
Yeah, it's like the 25-cent little like candies and you're just
yeah,
like, "Ooh, that sounds great." I don't
yeah,
know why it sounds great, but it's there and I'm going to buy it.
yeah,
You have no idea why you're doing it either. You're just like, that just sounds good. And because it's right there in front of your face. It's hard to say no when it's in front of you. But when it's away from you, you're like, well, I'll get it later.
exactly.
And I think like something that could, potentially benefit for you is like even like if there's like a festival you can get on just to like be a vendor there for your merch for your stuff. And net through your networking, you could probably do some really cool stuff, and there could be some way for you to make some stuff off of your merch. Just the
Well,
night throwing it
here's
out,
the thing with my merch: every $5 goes to charity. So it's not like
dude.
I mean, I'm not capitalizing on my shirts, my hats, whatever. It's every $5 goes to autism. It goes to junior diabetes. It goes to all different. That's why there's $5 at the end of everything. So I know $5 goes to whoever. Not even that. If you're throwing a benefit concert by you, just send me your Venmo. Whatever in the charity fund will go to you. You
Dude,
know what I'm saying? That's why on the merch site everything's $5 over than what it normally would be, like 25, 30. The windbreaker had to be 60, but you know what I'm saying in general.
ooh, you
That
said windbreaker. Now I'm
yeah,
all right. So, you two things that you said that I really love. So my stepson's high functioning autistic, and the fact that you're giving to charity for autism, like that hits a string for me because I live with someone who has autism. So it's a pretty big thing in my life, as well as one of my close friends is autistic as well. And so as soon as I can, I'm definitely gonna buy a windbreaker because I'm a sucker for a great windbreaker. Plus, I want to support your channel, and on top of
I
that,
appreciate
the
that.
fact that you're supporting, and giving to charity for autism, like, I mean, dude, have complete and undivided attention at that point now, and if any way I can help promote it, I will
No,
because I think that what you're doing is actually it's it's actually even better than most of the podcasts I've been on. I've actually never heard anyone on a podcast do that. So,
I,
you know,
I I
I
don't have
commend
much.
you,
I don't have much myself, but I always give back.
dude.
So if I mean, My biggest thing is, and I know I'm going to hear shit for this, and I don't care. I deal with people first.
Yeah.
Like I love dogs, I love cats, and everything else, but I will gladly, if it's my last $5, to make sure you need something, you got it. That's just
Dude.
how I've always been.
I mean, I commend you honestly for that. Like it's honorable. And I think that more people should definitely, like, if any of my fans are on here watching or when we post this, like, please go buy something from him, because like that, you know, it weighs heavy on me, and I've even wanted to do an autism benefit show. So
There's actually going to be one in Chicago that Savage Ladies in Metal are holding. It's at the Brower House, and I think it's June 28th, I believe.
oh, okay,
June
cool.
28th.
I got some people on the East Coast, so I'll try to have some people get sent out that way.
I have that flyer. I'll repost it again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's. I know it's at the Brower House. I know that much. I don't remember when it starts because I can't make it, but I'm a part of it as well. But
Sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely try to put some promotion on it as well, and try to get some people out from the East Coast that I know to it. Just, be like, hey man, I don't care if you don't like the music, just please go out and support this for this cause, because this is something that I feel very heavily about, and if
and
I could
it,
make it, I would.
and if there is a honestly, if there is a um charity name that you per se want, please let me know because
Yeah.
there's a few that I don't really feel that they're doing the right thing. So let me know
No, I got you. I mean,
if there's something by you that you stand by. Let me know.
yeah, absolutely, dude. Dude, honestly, like, I'll keep my ear to the ground as well with that situation, and then I'm just I'm thrilled to actually know that there's somebody out there that's actually doing that for autism, because I think that more people need to have a little bit more of an awareness on what autism actually is, as well as, parents educating their kids on, how people with autism work. It's, and people are all different in their own ways and their own rights, but autism
Bro,
is actually truly a beautiful thing if you actually think about it.
it really is.
I've I've met some of the greatest people that I've met have autism, and they never cease to amaze you with their kindness. We have a local celebrity out here named Sir Eric, and he never stops smiling. And I saw him cry once because he was crying because there was this local shooting that happened, and it broke his heart. And I hugged him so hard because I knew he just loves unconditionally. And that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, is that somebody gave a crap that much. I mean, he's the best version of ourselves that we don't even show half the time. And I think we could learn a lot from people with autism.
Yes, we can. So would you like to promote what's going on with you?
Um, Currently, right now, for promotion, I would definitely say that we have this show coming up August 26th. If you're in California, or if you can make it out this way, we have some people flying out for it. Please come support us and the rest of the bands that are on this bill. Like, these guys are all working really hard, as well as, stream our music. Every stream helps. We want to connect with more people. We want to meet more people. Give us a like, follow, drop us a message. We are pretty good about reaching back to our fans. I am on all social medias, as well as most of the other band members are as well. And my wife moderates for us a lot of the times, so she'll reach out to people and stuff like that too. So we try our best as a family to connect with people. So like, please, follow us on, all of our social medias. Just come and get to know us more, because we want to get to know all of you guys too.
I would like to thank you for your time.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for your time. Honestly, like, this was it's a great start to my morning.
I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, dude. And
I'll
it
be
was a pleasure
talking.
talking.
I'll be talking to you soon.
Hell yeah, brother. Take care, man.
You too.